What's up, my boy? We are in, I believe it's week 17. And the word of the day, according to Merriam-Webster, is convoluted. I'm going to sit in the sun. It's nice out or whatever. So, I'm at work. They got a rooftop little area where I like to sit for lunch. So, I'm up here. I realized today I be looking goofy in all the other weeks since I had started talking about doing editing, because I sit and wait the first 20 seconds and just be sitting there in silence looking goofy when my intro's supposed to be there, so you're not supposed to be able to see. But whatever, it is what it is. This past week, of course, we always start with exercise and fitness. I don't think I said it. Word of the week is convoluted. Convoluted is the word of the week. I forgot what the definition. I just looked it up. Whatever. But convoluted is the word of the week. And I actually picked up a book because it's Thursday. So the book of the week is You Are a Badass with Money. Picked it up from a lady while I was at my youngest karate last night. She was reading and it caught my eye. I was thinking about money and business. So I was like, okay, we're going to check that out. So haven't started it yet. Got really into this podcast like while I'm at work and stuff. I know what you feed your mind and brain, what we listen to, it can affect your mood and kind of impact your life. So like I usually like to listen to a lot of crime stuff, and I used to listen to a lot of like prison podcasts and things like that where they're talking about extreme violence and things that they've seen, and I didn't realize that was affecting and impacting my mood. Like, yeah, it's entertaining, but it's negative stuff. So finding myself watching more stuff like comedy related, not being so focused on money and finances, because while listening to financial stuff can be motivating, without feeling like I'm in a position or obtaining the money as quickly as I would like, then it puts me in the, I'm not doing my thing like I need to be. So it's like, you know what? We are working. We're working on the business. We're working on, getting better in every way possible. Put more fun and laughter into life. Things that are entertaining. Like, I'm going to do the money. I'm going to do the learning. I'm going to do the self-help and all that. But focusing so much on that and then negative stuff, like, no. Laughter is medicine, like, truly. So being in that happy space, stuff to make you giggle and laugh or whatever, especially if it can bring some tears out, man, that improves my day a bunch. So the podcast is the only black kids in the class, husband and wife duo. Of course, they're black, as you hear about the title, and they're pretty entertaining. My type of entertainment. You can tell that education is there. They're well spoken, and the husband is a therapist, the wife is an engineer. And it's just been, while I'm at work, boom, I lock in and I just let that play, because they've been doing, I think, a little over maybe like 2 or 3 years. So they got a bit of episodes, and I could just let it play. It's just like an hour and a half or so episodes. So those last where I could listen to 2 or 3 while I'm at work. And, I throw some music in there sometimes. So that's been pretty cool. Been listening to that a lot, but I am going to start listening to that You're a Badass with Money book and check it out and see probably why I'm out like lifting in the daytime. So we'll see how that goes. This past week, man, I want to kick myself in the neck. This is the first time this year I actually did get 2 gym sessions and 2 rucks, because like I stated, there's a gym here at the job, so I got to work out in here. Actually hopped on the Peloton. It was pretty cool. I was on the phone because a friend of mine called, so I wasn't able to like listen to the instructor that was on there. So we'll check that out next week, because today is my last day in the office for the week. But got 2 gym sessions in, worked out really well, been taking my protein, my vitamins and everything, and 2 rucks. But my goofy self only got 1, maybe 2 bike sessions. It's like, that's the thing that I can do anytime you have it at home, but I'm still not so, and it hasn't been as bad, because like I said before, there's been times where it's like energy just super low, get home and straight to sleep. So I've had some of those nights. I've also had nights where I was out late, especially like lifting and stuff to make money. So I'm getting back super late, like on the weekends or whatever. Although I was there early in the day and I could have did it again. We're talking 30 minutes, so no excuses. Yesterday was Wednesday. I didn't go to the gym or anything yesterday. I was not going to the gym today, but I'll definitely get a ruck. Not a ruck. Maybe. It depends how the night goes. But at least a spin in today. And the goal is, get up early enough in the morning to at least get a ruck in and a spin if I don't go to the gym. So we'll see how it plays out. But it felt real good to get back into the gym and make some progress. I even shot basketball. Uh, was messing around doing baseball. Like, man, I was active this past week or whatever, and I needed it because, at my lowest, I had lost about 30 pounds. I put not half, somewhere a little less than that back on, but I don't like that. I'm like, let's get back on it. So, slowly but surely getting back into it. This past week, of course, we've been heavy with the job. Reached out to people. I only had one job, and it actually was a disassembly of a canopy bed. So went to a lady's house on Friday, took the bed apart. She was, satisfied. Took my card, gave her my business number, Instagram, and all that. She, followed me and everything. So it was cool. Still waiting for the cars to come. They should be here next week. So again, super excited about that. And it's funny because the guy I talked about that was my one repeat customer last week actually reached out again this week. And he was like, hey, I got another, I've done an entertainment. The first thing I did for him was an entertainment stand. And then I did a dresser for him. And the entertainment stand was in the loft area upstairs. And, of course, the dresser was in the room. So this entertainment stand that he sent was, pretty big. I think this one would actually go in, the living room or somewhere where you're entertaining downstairs. So he sent it to me, and I was like, okay, of course we can get it done or whatever, but because of how this one is building, you'll need help balancing and putting stuff together. I know because I actually did one, and when the other one that I did that was similar, you had to have, that was the one job I've done through Angie's List where I had a partner because you need a second person when y'all balancing and putting stuff together. So I was like, yeah, I need to bring, one of my bros or an assistant with me. He was like, yeah, that's fine. So we rapping, and I was like, how much was the assembly? On when y'all brought it, how much did it say it was? And he told me, so I was like, I charged $20 less. And he was like, all right, let me rap with my wife. I don't know what happened, but he rapped with his wife, and he was like, she said no. Okay. And that's the thing that I'm liking about where I'm at in life, and because I was doing with my bookkeeping, haven't got started yet, but the guy that I was following on that, he did show the ups and downs of business. I know people that run businesses, so I know that things aren't always perfect. I've learned very quickly that even if y'all set up a date and time and you suited and booted and on your way there, don't count anything until you've done the work and got paid. I don't play that. And knock on wood, I haven't had that happen with somebody like, oh, well, trying to change the price or nothing. Don't do that. Don't play with my money, please. But, again, this somebody that done had me come back before, and we're talking about doing the third one, and he was like, she said no, and it was not offended, not mad. I'm like, I spoke about that last week with people that I've spoken to, and we're setting up dates and they flake before or whatever goes wrong, and it's it doesn't put a damper in my mood at all. It's like, hey, you don't get all the business, it's fine, and just keep going. So I'm loving that I'm growing and able to roll with those punches. It doesn't mess up my mood or put me in a bad space, or maybe I shouldn't do this or what. No, there's no second guessing myself. I am well aware, that right now with me working, again, I'm at work right now. If I wasn't, then of course I'd be trying to get maybe 2 jobs a day, 2 things to put together at least. But no, I spend 8 hours here a day or 8 hours at working, committed to the job, whether I'm here or at home a day working. That leaves, depending on what time I get off. If I go in there as early as 7, you're talking about getting off at 3. That hasn't happened yet. So you're talking typically getting off between 4 and 5. I might get here at 8 something. So between 4 and 5, getting off or whatever. And, I'll look for jobs in the evening, but it's again, I have to recall, hey, don't break yourself down. You make the money here during that 8 hours a day where you don't have to do a job. Again, if something becomes available, you get one, we'll go knock it out. But outside of that one that I did on Friday, which like I said was a disassembly, that hasn't become the norm yet. So of course my consistency and volume has dropped off because I work during the daytime now. But on the weekends, I be on go. Rap with a guy earlier this week. I didn't get, I think, the little jungle gym thing I was talking about, I didn't get that one. So, like I say, clearly, because I said all I want to have was a disassembly of the bed. But this weekend coming up, I spoke, like I said, that guy, we were talking about doing that, said Sunday, set the time and everything. And then, I don't know, I'm guessing it was the price, which hey, not finna lose no sleep over or get mad about it. Like I say, I said it at $20 cheaper than what it was on the site. So whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, as my pop say, I'm not tripping. No hard feelings. If you call me for another one, I knock it out, So this guy like had a really fancy like gamer chair where like it had an arm and it swivel and all kind of stuff. Like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. I showed my brothers like, we need that. You can buy it. But he wanted me to come to the city that he was in, which was like over an hour away from where I live, take it apart, pack it up, move it to another city like 40 minutes from there, both of which were an hour away from where I live. So I was like, I do it, and we worked out the price. So, of course I'm factoring in, making sure I get enough where I'm not just driving to get gas. So we agreed on it. He was like, I'll let you know, what day this weekend. So there's a celebration on Saturday for a family member out in the city by a city I used to live in and work in. And so where he was going was actually going that way, like taking the thing too. So I'm like, it might not be so bad. We might be able to work this out. Either way, I wanted to go early in the morning because the event is supposed to start till 3 o'clock. So I'm like, I get there probably like 9:10, so I can get on it. Hopefully it take no longer than an hour to take it apart, get it packed up. Another hour and a half to take it. So that'll be around noon, something 1. Finish by 2 o'clock. Drive home, get showered, change out, drive back up. Might have been going for an hour and a half, and I'll be showing up. So again, reached out, double check. Hey, we're still on. Have you decided Saturday or Sunday? And he was like, it's actually gonna be next weekend. I'm like, okay, again, don't bother me none. Payday is tomorrow for the first time, so we're good. I do a little bit of lifting and all that this weekend. If something pop up, an opportunity pops up, great. If not, we ain't losing no sleep. So that was it with work. Like I say, spoke about the working out. Feel really good, like of course it was a little soreness or whatever, but nothing crazy. I'm not an idiot, I'm experienced with working out, so I didn't go way too hard where I would be super sore and not barely able to move. Definitely felt it the next day, but by the time I finished day 2, I was, pretty okay. So looking forward to just staying consistent, getting this thing under control. It's May 1st actually, so summer's right around the corner next month, and I do want to get the kids to the beach, and just for myself, I want to like what I see, when I take my shirt or clothes off. I plan on trying this. It's like detox cabbage, and just like it's a big pot thing, so it's like a meal prep, and then I don't have to work because I typically at work I'll eat either oatmeal or grits for breakfast. Typically oatmeal. Eat oatmeal, have some fruit, and maybe a cup of tea if I don't get a cup of coffee. Boom, and that'll hold me over. And then so get something for lunch, and by the time I get home, I have sometimes I bring a protein shake with me, and I got some protein at home, so I take another protein shake when I get home and maybe eat something small with that. But to have a big vegetable soup, and especially if I throw, let's say, like a salad in every day at work, and then have like this soup in the evening or vice versa, it's a lot of veggies going on and some fruit. So plan on doing that. It say you can lose between 5 and 10 pounds. If I lose, between 5 and 10, that would be really good to get me back to where I want to be or where I was headed to. So, looking at getting that going. Oh yeah, so I actually got the rap, man. I don't know. It's like a lot of people that were important at different points in my life have came back across this last week. My cousin is like a brother to me. I call him Yulo. He hit me up randomly like, man, I heard you started a business. Made me feel good. He like, hey man, don't forget about me. Not even asking for a handout. Like if I can come work with you, let me know. And it's like not pressure, but it's like hearing people and having people look to you like, hey, I hear you got this going on. If you could put me on, like not be able to put money in their pockets. I don't like to say, be the boss or nothing like that. That ain't what this is or whatever. Like I don't have an ego. But if I'm in a position to where I can bring somebody on with me and put some money in their pocket and they get this skill, like, and if it end up being something he like, this a grown man, bro. You ain't got to do this with me. Hey, I'll show him how to set up your own accounts and start your own business. We could work together, or you could just come over here if you only want to do it. But if you really, like it and you see some money in it, I'll show you how to do it for yourself. I'm not greedy at all, but having that reach out, it's like I really got to have this go, man, Cause like I say, not just for myself, I want to be able to help other people and be able to do that, whether it's a young boy or, somebody that need help, or like I say, I get to the in the right space, and especially we talking like on some outdoor type jobs, putting up together some patio furniture, whatever, and then somebody standing on the corner with a sign, like, can you, hey man, you trying to make some money? I don't know what you make standing out here, but I might be able to put 100 in your pocket. You come help me with this, you know what I'm saying? And I got your food and all that. So stuff like that, man, like really make me feel like I'm heading in the right direction. But so my cousin reached out to me and was asking about the business, and just, you ain't say nothing to me about it. And I was like, again, I don't like to be, for things to happen or me to say stuff and it be mistaken as me bragging. So like, oh yeah, I done started this business. I'm like, and that come up randomly, but he pointed out that we had spoke before, and I told him that I was working on starting businesses, and I was like, well, I hadn't had that one on my, to-do list yet. I was talking about another one, but yeah, this one too. He was like, yeah, but I wouldn't have took it like that anyway. So I was like, yeah, but when I get situated, if it's some work, if I can bring you on with me, I got you. So me and him rap. My best friend, me and her rap. We hadn't rapped lately. A lot of catching up. So good talking to her and getting things in perspective. And she is somebody that I talk business and money with, because a lot of people, and it may again be in my head, but when I'm talking to business and money and stuff like that, that's the stuff. I talk money all the time. Been talking that for years, but some people seem, here he go again on another tangent. Everybody don't want to talk about that, so I'm kind of selective in who I discuss those things with. But I can always talk business and money with my best friend, and I talked to my roommate from college, and like we on same page. So me and her was rapping and catching up, just family stuff, and what had been going on in our life here recently, and talking to business, and she was very helpful in helping me boom navigate some stuff that I had in the back of my head. And I also spoke, like I said, to my college roommate. We text every week, but our texts be so long, man, or like Messenger, Facebook message, we message every week, but the messages be so long, you'll go and look, and it's like, man, that's a little mini book. Like, it's a beginning, middle, and end there. And you're not always, although it's great conversation, it's like, it's texting. He done said it on his end too. Like, man, sometimes I look at them and I gotta sit down and take some time to reply to that. I can't do it right now. Like, that's mentally, it's too much to do. And that's why, I had been told him, like, man, my schedule's usually pretty flexible. Whenever you got time, just call me. We could rap for a little minute. So he actually did call me, I think on Monday. And we sat and we was rapping, and again, talking business, life, love life, parenting, mental health, everything, man. And like I say, that's my dude. I think if we was around, or at this point, like I said, if I was, if marriage was in the cards, I feel it would be most appropriate to make him my best man, because of all the people in my world that are men, he knows me the most and the best. I'm the most open and candid with him. So that's my guy. We was rapping. Like I say, best friend. So, just catching up with people that I don't talk to on a regular, hadn't talked to. And it, like, that really, gave a boost to my week too. So it's been a pretty good week here lately, man. Like I say, with the working out and everything, I really wish I was able to come on and say I had checked all my boxes if I had did the spinning. But I'm going to get it, this week right here or whatever. Like I said, I don't have anything on the calendar for work this weekend. With the job, everything's going fine. The only thing that sucked was last week I had, she gave me a new process, and I was working on it, and I had in my mind, I felt it like, the way I'm calculating this isn't right. I don't feel like this is right. And so I reached out to her, and I understand she's busy, she's working and everything, but I'm like, I don't think I'm doing this right. This don't look right. So I reached out to her. She said she's gonna reach back out to me Thursday. I guess she was busy, she didn't get a chance to get to me. So all day Thursday I'm doing this, but I ain't going the fastest because I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Reach out again Friday, or I think she might have reached out to me Friday morning last week and was like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, but I'll set up a meeting here shortly. Till like 10 in the morning. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm still doing them, but I ain't doing them super fast, because like I said, I feel like I'm doing them wrong. We get to the afternoon, like after lunch, 1 o'clock or something like that, and she messages me and calls me, and we get on and then show me that I'm doing it wrong. And I'm like, and she was like, you don't seem like your normal chipper self. I've wasted time the last 12 hours doing something wrong. Why would I be happy about that? So, once she showed me, it was Friday and the day was about over, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not in the mental space to continue doing that today, so that ain't happening, whatever. But we got it done or whatever, so I've been doing that, so feeling real good with it. Actually, right before I went to lunch, my coworker, not my manager, but my coworker gave me a new process, and my manager just let me know yesterday that she just went down to part-time because she's on her way to retirement. So she's on her way to part-time. I actually just had a meeting, whatever, just like an information session and lunch or whatever they provided lunch for, so that was pretty cool. But my coworker just gave me a new process, super easy, super simple, nothing complicated at all. She was like, it's time consuming. I'm like, I'm fine with it taking time. It don't have to be the most important or complex thing in the world. As long as y'all got some work for me to do, I'm good. So she was like, but I guess amongst other things she has to do, I'm like, yeah, if it's the small stuff, and especially the super simple stuff, I'm cool with taking on complex operations. But to ease me in at the beginning, like I said, I don't get bored because I keep myself entertained anyway. So it don't matter, what the work is. Give me something to do. I have these headphones on, and I'll be listening to something to keep myself entertained while I'm working, even if the work was boring. But, I'm like, you have more important stuff and more pressing matters to attend to. So if I could take that off your plate, that's what I'm here for. Y'all hire me on a contract to help out with, fill in the gap. So we're fine. So I'm doing that right now. Like I said, I'm taking an extended lunch because the meeting and lunch was an hour. And then I went to give me some ice cream. I watched the last video I had, which was like 20 minutes. And then I'm at like 20-something minutes on this. So, and I done said almost everything I got going on. So I'm about to wrap this up and head back in and finish up the rest of the day. But yeah, man, things going pretty good. That actually wasn't my brother's last game, the one that I told y'all about. They beat the team, his old school. They beat them, then they had to play them again, then they lost to him. It was a really good game, though. Like, it was a good game, back and forth. They had the momentum 1 minute, and then they just folded at the end or whatever. So they lost that game. And then they had one more game against a really good school, and they got blessed. I think he said like 17, 19-0. I said, oh, boy, y'all trash. But he was like, it was a really good team. So he enjoyed himself. I was going to sign my youngest up for track. Couldn't find out. Track started in like February or March. He's about over. Well, I know for next year. But he's talking about doing soccer, and I got to find some soccer for his older brother anyway. So try to find some soccer camps and stuff for the boys to do. Really, like I said, I'm really kind of like anxious to see. Although I've seen the check, but to see like it deposited and hit my account like, boom, this your money. It's going right back out to bills, but it'll still feel good to know, okay, boom. Now I know every other Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it comes, this will be there. So whatever you get in between then, whether it's lift, whether it's, furniture assembly or whatever other hustle I come up with, that's just, a cherry on top or whatever. So keep grinding, keep going. You got the bills. We all right now. We can breathe. It's okay. So, like I said, feeling really good, man, getting everything together. And I actually have been finding, like I said, a little bit of energy to bit in peace get the house together, because I done been in my house. It's been almost dang near, 9 months or something like that. I moved in July, so August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, going on 10 months, man, and I've cleaned it up well, but especially here lately, I just wasn't in a mental, emotional space. Not making no excuses. I was lazy. I was lazy. I ain't no mental, emotional, nothing. I wasn't cleaning like I wanted to for me to have been there that long, so I'm going to work on it some this weekend, and little by little each day I've been doing it, but I'm probably going to pay somebody to come in and like deep clean it, which is something I wanted to do quarterly anyway, but of course, I had only been in there for about a quarter before I lost my job, so we got bigger fish to fry than hiring somebody to come in. But now that we, like I said, we're getting back on, probably by the end of this month, I'll have somebody come in and like deep clean or whatever one day, like have me while the kids at school or something like that, had them come in, and I'm working from home. You can do your thing. I'm out your way. You need me to move, that's fine. I can go to lunch, whatever. We're going to work it out. But come in here, do your thing. I'm going to pay you. I have, stuff to drink in there. If you want something to drink, I'm going to be a good host. So, but like I say, man, this has been really good. Oh, I almost skipped that. So, I hadn't had this happen in a minute. It's been a while. I'm thinking I'm not doubling back over myself, but kind of had like I don't know how to word it, but it was not a bad moment, but I didn't feel the greatest because it was a reminder, and it took me back to, the incident that happened the year we graduated that set getting our career started back or whatever. So, like I said, had recruiters reach out last week, Thursday and Friday, from the same company or whatever, and said, like, can we set up a time to talk? I'm like, all right, boom, here's my number, whatever. We set it up. I want to say for like Monday or Tuesday morning. I'm on the way into work. Lady calls. I'm like, I was asked for the job description. Can you send me the job description so I can, see, prepare just in case I need to study and, say I know more than I do about something. I need to know what I'm doing here. So she sent the job description over. In this job description, for all 4 of the different positions she sent, it had what it paid. And it was like, this right here is where I need to be. My cousin asked before. No, we get to, I think I got my number in my head. Well, you know what? I won't be lifting, especially now since I have the business. I could really like focus on that. Yeah. So she sent the job description over and everything. And we get on the call, and, I'm doing my thing or whatever, but once it gets to investigation experience and it's asking for like 2 years, I'm like, I don't have it. Again, we're talking like in financial crimes. That was what I wanted to do right when I got out. Had a cousin that was going to get me into risk compliance investigations. I would have been there in this space now over 10 years, or I would have had the 2 years of experience you're asking for. 2 years, and we talking life-changing money for me and my boys. We good. And it was just like, it just reminded me of the incident that happened that kept me from getting that 2 years of experience. And if I had that 2 years, by the time, where would I be now? You know what I mean? And again, success is going to come. I won't lie, in that moment, it was like, maybe I'm not meant to be financially well off and, be at the level of comfortability that I have aimed to achieve, because it seemed like at every turn, I don't know if I want to say something goes wrong, I mess up, I don't put in the work, whatever it is, it just ain't happening. For me to be in a space, like I said with the last job, the layoff, cool, if I work my way up with that, nope, that didn't work. When I first started with TIAA, boom, all right, I get in here, I would have been there going on 4 years now? 5 years. I'd have been there 5 years now. 5 years, I'd have worked my way up or went elsewhere to get more money if I had hit a peak and I couldn't go up anymore. So it put a bad taste in my mouth, and it did like get on me more than it normally does, because again, it took me back to, man, somebody making a bad decision and not doubling or tripling but quadrupling down on that bad decision and upholding the lie. That person probably wouldn't know me today if they saw me. It wouldn't affect them. They wouldn't care at all. But here I am 12 years later, and because of a decision you made and a lie you told in that moment, I've missed opportunities and to progress, be in a better space, get more money. I honestly still have my oldest child, potentially still be in the same city and state because you was on some BS. I always try to say everything happened for a reason, but I can't see the reason in that. If a person is in a position of power and have authority over somebody else's life that much, don't abuse that authority, man. Like, and that's something that, again, my degree, background is in criminal justice, and that was part of the reason. It was like, if I'm going to go into this, I wanted to be like a state trooper or something. I don't need no partners, because I can't sit around and watch you do somebody wrong. Even before it became me, I knew that these things happen. And it's like, I don't care what you is, white, black, it ain't got nothing to do with race. If you're a bad person or if you're screwing people over, y'all gonna have to, I think it's Sicario, whatever that cop name was, who all the cops turned his back on, that'll be me. Because I don't care if this is a racist, whatever, and calling us everything but a child of God, bro. We're not finna jump on this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, he still deserves decency, even though he's not a decent person or she's not a decent person. This person sells drugs all the time. Yeah, he done been locked up for drugs 20 times, but if he ain't got no drugs on him, he not finna get his 21st conviction off of this arrest with me standing here. Like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep right at night. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff happens. So to feel like that and then become a victim of it, and it is what it is, man. So I'm hoping that somehow I slip through the cracks, and get my foot in there. But I'm gonna take this opportunity and take it as far as I can and do as much as I can with it, until something better comes along. And the goal is still, of course, to get in a position to where all my business is thriving, and I don't have to go to anybody else for anything. But it's been a pretty good last 7 days, man. Even with those moments, of course, had a moment on Drama birthday and recorded a private video like this. Everything that I do won't make it to social media, so or YouTube or whatever. So that won't get to here. But just for me to have, like I do, with all these, it's really for me to be able to look back. But some of these videos, of course, somebody can see this. They see it. They, like I say, if this gains a following or people go look at it, I don't care about the stuff that I'm saying in this. But with some of the stuff that I say is just for me, truly, to look back at, which that was what this started out as anyway, which, like I said, it wasn't even supposed to be an everyday thing. Like the one video I recorded when I got laid off, the first one that started all this was supposed to be one video, just me recording, documenting this moment. So when I look back December 4th, a year from now, 2025 versus 2024, I see how much progress I done made, which I made a lot, man, in the 5-6 months that done went by. We, like I said, back working, took some months, but we're back working. But more importantly, we got a business and really getting this thing going. So definitely looking forward to seeing, what we look like in the next, what would that be, 7 months, 6-7 months when we get back to December 4th. How far the business done gone, man. But yeah, like I said, had a moment with that. Other than that, it's been pretty solid, man. Like I said, the boys doing good. They get on my nerves with the cleaning and stuff sometime or whatever. But other than that, they've been pretty solid. I ain't got no complaints with the fam. Life all right, man. So that is week, I think this is what I said, 17. Week 17, we're wrapping it up. Be kind to yourself. And remember, all goals that we are working on will happen overnights. Plural, with an S on the end, not overnight. And no instant success unless you win the lottery, which we've been trying it. I'm not, it's in the universe. I take a lottery win if we could get it, but I've been playing since I was 18, so that's what 18 years of lottery tickets and stuff like that. And the most I've won was $1,000, and I done put well over, I'm sure, if you added it all up, especially at the height of like scratch offs and stuff like that. For me, mainly them scratch offs, easily over 10,000. So at the height get 1,000 back. I think I've won 500 like 2 or 3 times. So, and I ain't never. Those are all off scratch offs. I've never won big off of like actual lotto tickets or whatever. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Again, stay locked in, stay focused, keep grinding. Like I say, everything that we're aiming for is overnight, not overnight. Whether that's, getting your body in shape, whether that's adding skills to your resume, whether that's growing the business, you have to stay committed and consistent. And we'll get there, man, in due time. So until the next week, when we check in for week 18, be kind to yourself. And I love you, my boy. I'll talk to you later. All right, peace.